Hey everyone, my name is Memo, this is my channel, Houseplanting Goodness, and it's a place where I like to geek out about my big passion, and you might be able to see one of the things that I'm passionate about in front of me. So this is a channel where I like to talk about my tropical plant collection and things that I've learned along the way, some care and tips that have worked in my situation. Hopefully they might be able to help some of you guys, and maybe throw in some scientific knowledge, because why not? Let's geek out, shall we? So if you like this video, do consider dropping a like down below, because it does tell me that you're enjoying the type of content that I'm creating, and I can create more of a similar type of content. If you like this content as a whole, you're really getting into your houseplants and everything else like that, then consider subscribing down below as well, because every week, about 2 or 3 times, I will bring out a video that talks about all things houseplants and tropical plants. So let's dive into today's topic. This was actually a request from a YouTube subscriber, and it was actually to do a bit of an update on liquid gold leaf. So for those that don't know, liquid gold leaf is possibly the best fertilizer, houseplant fertilizer that I've found, at least in my situation. And I did another video, which again is on my channel, you can have a look at it, and I kind of talked about all the different fertilizers that I've kind of tested and compared it with this, but this will always win out. And if I bring it in slightly closer, you might be able to see if it's focusing. I don't know how much of that is going to be mirrored, but yeah, liquid gold leaf. And then also the newest purchase, the newest addition to this, and I know this doesn't really have any labeling at the moment, but this is the Photo Plus. This is the foliar spray. Essentially, it's something that works alongside your fertilizer, but it does help plants, especially variegated plants, with photosynthesis, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. So as I said, this is more of an update video in terms of how I'm finding liquid gold leaf, and actually probably a bit late as an update video. I've been using the fertilizer aspects of it for coming up to 2 years now, and I swear by it. I don't actually use anything else. It's really annoying on occasion when they run out of stock and I haven't stocked up and I run out, like I did just before the winter, because I still fertilize weekly over the winter period. I don't stop fertilizing, especially if I'm still seeing active growth on most of my plants. But with the case that they're so popular, and it's a great thing, it means that it works, people really kind of believe in the product, it runs out. So just make sure that maybe if you're buying, buy 2, just to be on the safe side when you've seen that they're back in stock. I know these are fertilizers that might not be readily available anywhere but the UK, I think, at the moment. There are some people that are ordering bigger shipments to the EU. I don't know whether or not they've started to ship now to the EU specifically, but I know America and Canada, and actually anywhere else in the world, I don't think they ship as a standard, and you probably wouldn't want to order just one. So maybe if you want to try something like this and you've got a few planting friends, get a group of you together and do a larger order if you don't mind, and then you'll probably be able to experience that fertilizer. So yeah, let's dive into a bit more how I found the product to work. Essentially, I'm going to read this off the label because I usually forget most of this as well, so I don't know how much of you have seen the other video. If I can figure out how to link it to this video, I will link it to this video. Otherwise it might be in the description down below, I don't know. Relatively new to the YouTube thing, so I need to figure out how to link things. But this will work in most media. I've used it mainly in my aroid mix, which tends to be cocoa coir based, and it's doing really well. You could also use this as a foliar spray itself. It works slightly differently than the Photo Plus, which is one that's maybe a bit better for some of the variegated plants. And you can use it for semi and full hydroponics, and also for propagations. So the one thing I will say about the product is it's slightly milky, creamy consistency, and it does smell a bit of rotten eggs. But the NPK value is 9, 5, 16, and it does also contain a lot of the other micronutrients as well, which is why I like it, and why this is quite good, because it does a few other things as well. Like if you can use it for semi and full hydroponics, you don't need to be getting other nutrient solutions. You can just do this. You don't have to worry about nutrient lockout, which again I talk a bit more about in my other video when you look at the more specialized hydroponic fertilizers. This does everything. You just put it in the water, done. You don't have to worry about it. Now, The other thing about this is you can use it in propagations as well if you're using it in the water. I found that I can't stomach it for too long because it does start stinking up the water within a couple of days, but it does help, especially if there's some roots already within the water. It won't. Most plants, if there's no roots there to begin with and they're just starting to root out in water, especially if you're water propagating, they've got no need to pull in the nutrients just yet. When the root stops coming through, then yes, do start maybe trialing this on occasion, using it that way. But the way that you'd use it is, I think if I'm not mistaken, is 2 millilitres per litre of water. I don't know what the imperial measurements are for that, but I'm sure you can go and do a quick Google and figure it out for yourselves. But yeah, 2 millilitres per litre of water. And when I first started off, I did the usual thing that most people say, which is dilute it even further based on what they're suggesting, because it could cause some leaf burn. Actually, for the last 6 months, I've been using it at the recommended strength. It actually works even better at the recommended strength, at least in my experience, in my environment, and that will always be my caveat. It works for me. Try it in your environment. It should maybe work for you as well, dependingly. But the reason why I've got my variegated monstera in front of me, I don't know whether or not you might be able to see some of the older leaves. Before I started using the fertilizer, they were getting smaller. Some of the more mature leaves at the bottom had secondary fenestrations. They were quite large, but they were getting smaller and they were losing the fenestrations. The variegation level was still quite good, but after starting to use liquid gold leaf and the Photo Plus, the folio spray, it's like magic. All the fenestrations are back, decent level of chunky variegation as well. It's not causing any burn as well, even though it's getting quite a bit of light. Now granted, there's a bit more humidity in here, so I probably won't get as much of the leaf burn, but it grows like gangbusters. And some of the plants that are generally quite slow growers, same thing goes for the Monstera Spa Peru, really slow grower. When it's on the fertilizer, it does really well. It speeds up. It's still not a fast plant, but it does speed up. Same thing with the subhastatum, not the subhastatum, the hastatum, the silver sword philodendron. Same thing with that. It grows a bit faster. And also the other thing that I didn't mention is it kind of almost dechlorinates water as well. I don't quite understand the science behind it. Check out their website. They explain it a bit better than I probably would. But you can put this in and essentially you don't have to worry about the chemicals that are in tap water. It kind of essentially wipes them out. So it almost acts a bit like a water filtration system. Obviously don't use every single watering with the fertilizer, because then you probably will give it some chemical burns in terms of the roots if there are too many nutrients. But we're coming into spring, we're going to soon be coming into the summer, and if you're looking for a new fertilizer to try, I cannot recommend liquid gold leaf enough, essentially. So enough of me gushing about the product. If you've got any more questions, drop them down below. If you want me to dive any more into specifics about the products, do let me know down below. I'm always looking for new video ideas, so you never know, one of your suggestions might become the new video. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Hopefully I shall see you here soon. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks. Bye.